good morning or good afternoon. My name is Suzuko Hirschman, and I was born and raised in Japan. Japan, and live in Austria for 40 years. So I am Austrian Japanese or Japanese Austrian. So I stand here to raise the awareness of the reality of Unification Church members who are victims of the criminal deprogramming tactics, and including my sister. This reality is mostly unknown even in Japan, and where it is still a common practice. And deprogramming is a violent tactic used to break family apart and force people to abandon their faith against their will. In the last 15 years, there have been almost no new civil trial against the Unification Church in Japan. This leads me to wonder why the Japanese government is trying to dissolve the Unification Church, and why more than 4,300 cases of kidnapping and deprogramming is not being talked about until now. So there are two main reasons for this, I think. The family of the victims are cooperating with deprogramming experts, and it means for the victims to sue their own parents in court, which ultimately pushes them to keep silent. And second, the media are intentionally not reporting about this criminal. So we grew up in Buddhist tradition. My second eldest sister met Unification Church and found the answer in its teaching. She then introduced it to the rest of our family. And in the beginning, my father was supportive, but through the influence of the media and contact with the anti-Unification Church group, he began to oppose church. As a high school student, I did not want to cause my parents any grief, so I decided not to visit the Unification Church. My sister and brother were secretly visiting a Unificationist youth meeting. One day, I read a book about the true story of the Christian believer who jumped under the train on a mountain pass to save the lives of dozens of passengers. When I finished reading, I could not stop crying. I thought, until now I have lived my life thinking only myself. From now on, I want to live for others. So the protagonist was disowned by the Buddhist father for his Christian belief, and the story had deep parallels to my sister's situation. Long story short, I ended up joining the church too. So 1976, something shocking happened. My two eldest sisters were living back at my parents' house and commuting to work every day. One day I received a phone call from my third eldest sister saying, it seems that our sister has been kidnapped and confined somewhere. My second eldest sister told us later what had happened. While she was sleeping at home, four unknown men entered her room and bound her hands and feet with a duct tape and covered her mouth with an anesthetic cloth and took her by car to the confinement house in Tokyo. The four unknown men communicated with each other Korean, not Japanese. My brother-in-law, the husband of my eldest sister, who had no contact with the Unification Church, was asked by my father to accompany the men to the deprogramming house and he observed the situation and began to distrust this violent method, he secretly advised my kidnapped sister, "You should pretend to have lost your faith and leave this house as soon as possible." While she was in a deprogramming house, my sister witnessed another unification church member being taken to a different flat, where the deprogrammer, Mr. Maruyama, was living. And it was later discovered that this woman has been repeatedly raped by him for more than 2 months. After her escape from a confinement house, this man filed a criminal complaint, but later dropped the case out of fear and shame. Her father committed suicide out of agony for causing this tragedy. Although my sister was held captive only for a few days, she could not sleep and pray every night, not knowing what would happen to her. About 20 kidnapped members were held in this deprogramming house, and new people were brought there every day. Mariama was already known within the Unification Church, so I went to nearest police station and explained the situation to the police officer and give them the address and telephone number of the deprogramming house, and the police immediately called Mr. Maruyama, warning him, "Bring this husband, my sister, to the police station right away, otherwise we'll come to your house." And on 4th day, my sister was rescued. When the police conducted a detailed investigation, they discovered that my father had commissioned the kidnapping of his own daughter. The police officer changed their attitude and told us, "You have to follow your parents." So sensing the danger, my sister and I immediately left the police station and lived in Tokyo for 2 years without giving my parents our address, out of fear. 10 years later, my father realized the violent method would destroy trust between parents and children, so he, in the end, recognized our beliefs and supported us. Because many Unification Church victims of kidnapping had no support from their relatives, they were confined for months or even years. There are 2 ways to be freed from the confinement: escaping by risking your life, or forcing yourself to lose faith and denounce the Unification Church in court. Imagine yourself having to make that choice. So thank you very much.